This is the 1.2G and we're here today to find out how desirable it is compared not just to the turbo, but compared to the rest of the market as well. So, is this a crossover or is it an SUV? Frankly, in terms of design, I'm going to say that it leans more towards the former because I don't see it quite nailing the latter's proportions. Still, I have to say that Toyota appears to have done an admirable enough job going after the appearance. Thanks to design cues like the swept back headlights here, they're very aggressive. You've got the flat face with the large grille featuring matte black plastic, and this thing also runs on 200 millimeters of ground clearance, which I'm very sure local buyers will appreciate in the Philippine setting. Also worth noting, you've got 16-inch alloys, but I have to say I much prefer the ones that you will find on the turbo variant because they're not just larger 17-inch ones, they're also much more energetic to look at. Overall, if I had to sum it up, you could say that this kind of looks like a pint-sized Toyota RAV4. Okay guys, so once you hop inside the Raize, you're going to be faced with a lot of hard plastic. Actually, come to think of it, there is nothing in here except hard plastic, but it's pretty typical of crossovers priced well under the 1 million peso mark. This isn't to say that this is an unpleasant environment to be in, as you've got decent headroom for taller drivers like me. I'm around 5'9", 5'10" in height. You have a nice feeling steering wheel here. You also have these convenient pop-up cup holders by the side AC vents, and yeah, it's an overall okay place to be in, provided that you know what you're getting into. Another thing I like about the cabin here, drivers are faced with a digital instrument cluster that's intuitive to play around with, and it's pretty easy to read, so props to Toyota for including that feature. I like it. And now we have moved to the back seat of the Toyota Raize, and you can probably notice that there's actually a pretty decent amount of space back here. You have a good amount of legroom despite the driver's seat being positioned in my usual driving position, and headroom is pretty decent. Overall, there's little to complain about regarding the environment back here. And now we're going to move to the back of the Toyota Raize here, guys. Let's open this up and check out the cargo area, which you've got pretty standard amount of space for a subcompact crossover. And you are given the option to fold the second row seats down. They're 60/40, so they drop down just like that. As far as the engine is concerned, you're not going to be left disappointed by the Toyota Raize, provided that you can set your expectations accordingly. The unit we have here today, it packs a 1.2-liter gasoline engine with 87 horsepower and 113 Newton meters of torque. So far, I've driven it in Metro Manila, where it's proved to be a nimble thing, easy to maneuver around tight spaces, easy to park. And I've also driven it out on the South Luzon Expressway, and it is highway capable, but it does take its time getting up to speed. I've yet to test this thing on a full load, but I can already feel that there will be some instances where drivers will wish they had something more substantial underneath the hood. You're not going to want to expect any sportiness out of this thing. Zippiness might even be a stretch as well. Now, on the bright side, when we're talking about engine performance, I've found that after a day of use so far, it's a pretty efficient powertrain, this 1.2-liter engine. I'm averaging around 17 to 18 kilometers per liter right now, and that's with mixed city and highway driving conditions. When it comes to the ride, it's okay up front, but things get a little dicier in the rear when you're running over more noticeable, more sizable road imperfections. But this is a subcompact crossover under 1 million pesos, so that's not something I find too surprising. Okay guys, so priced at 906,000 pesos, the Toyota Raize 1.2G is still definitely a budget-oriented crossover. The good thing is this is a vehicle that knows its role in the market with a powertrain that leans heavily on efficiency rather than sportiness, and it also covers all the basic features you would like to see in a vehicle at this price point. If you're in the market for a daily driver under 1 million pesos, then yeah, I think the Toyota Raize is definitely worth considering. This has been Dre Laurel for Top Gear Philippines, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, by the way, do not forget to like and subscribe to Top Gear Philippines on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.